Hello everyone, it's Thomas again with Waterloo Ranch in Rice, Washington. I'm here with our steers today for 2026. It is March, and these guys will be here till mid-November. They are all Angus and/or Angus Hereford mixes. They are going to be in this area for just a couple of weeks. This is the smallest area they'll ever be in. We don't ever put them in any type of feedlot setting. A lot of feedlots are stocked up to like 100 head per acre at times, and we're far from that. Their purpose right now is just to get used to this being home base. Water station here, hay feeder when there's no pasture for them to munch on, and salt and mineral here for them as well. In the next couple of weeks, they'll also get trained on grain. We've got some troughs back there, and they'll be doing grain training here for the next couple of weeks, just so we can get them used to coming back to this spot every morning and evening for their grain supplement. Once the growing season starts in mid to late April, we will be rotating these guys through the forest and on some meadows on either side of the forest. We'll open up those meadows as grass is ready for them to graze, and then let them eat it down to about 3 inches and then pull them off of it. What that does is that gives the grass some time to regrow. It keeps it in growth phase, gives it some time to regrow, and maybe we can get a second grazing on all of our meadows here. Regardless of what meadow and forest they have access to, as we rotationally graze them, they'll always have access to this area again, so they can come back in the mornings and the evenings for their grain supplement. Occasionally they make us go find them and lead them back here, but we try to get them pretty good in the habit of coming back here on their own. It's definitely a lot harder to supplement with grain when you're not in a feedlot setting, but we like these guys to have plenty of exercise, plenty of access to live forage, and just some room to roam on the land. There's a lot of talk out there about grain finishing animals, specifically cows. And the reason we choose to finish with grain, in addition to top quality hays and live pasture, is because we want our steers on harvest day to grade USDA choice on the marbling scale. What that gives us is an incredibly flavorful meat that is super tender, unlike any other pasture-raised beef on the market. Grass finishing beef has become ideologically fashionable in the past decade or more, but we know that the vast majority of grass finish operations aren't able to deliver a product with enough marbling to grade choice or higher. In fact, most of those small farms just opt not to have their meat graded just because it's sort of a foregone conclusion that it's not going to grade choice or higher. There are a lot of oversimplified arguments out there against adding grain to the diets of cows, and we'd like to talk a little bit about those things today. One of the major oppositions to grain finishing animals is that it does add more fat to the meat. Again, grass finished animals are going to be leaner, and it's sort of become generally accepted that leaner animal proteins are preferred over fattier ones. This is sort of an odd thing when you think about it, just because this is not something that would have ever been common in discourse before the Industrial Revolution. Before industrial farming, with readily available year-round carbohydrates, no one would have really been seeking out leaner animal proteins as opposed to more fatty animal proteins like fish, bears, beavers, and the like. Animal fat is actually an incredible source of energy for the human body. You can get the energy that you get from carbohydrates, but it's longer lasting, and you get that energy without the insulin spikes and the deleterious effects of frequent insulin spikes on the human body. Another common trope among grass-finished beef proponents is that cows should not be eating grain at all. The truth is that cattle can and do eat grain in its live state if they walk into a pasture that has oats or barley growing in it. It's not uncommon at all for cows to eat that in its live state. The difference here, of course, is that our grains are milled and they're not necessarily in their natural state because they've gone through the milling process. But the concept is still the same. And no one seems to mind that our chickens are eating grains that are in a non-natural state, or our pigs, even though those animals are not ruminants and they're opportunistic feeders, they're still eating foods that aren't necessarily in their natural state that would be a normal part of their diet. One issue that can come with feeding grains to cattle is acidosis. There can be some gut irritation, but that's also true for alfalfa. Alfalfa falls under the grass-finished beef umbrella, but technically alfalfa is a legume, and that legume can be pretty inflammatory, can also cause acidosis if fed in too rich portions or too large portions with cattle. So just like feeding alfalfa with grain, we just keep a close eye on our cattle and we know if they're handling it well or not. It's actually quite easy to tell if there's some health deterioration in your animal from grains or alfalfa in their diet. You'll see cattle with diarrhea, you can see signs of bloating, things like that. So we monitor these guys super closely. We make sure that they're always in good health, even with grains in their diet. And they also, again, always have access to either top quality grass hays or live pasture as well. The other thing we often hear is that grains are more frequently sprayed with pesticides and herbicides than grass hays. Obviously, grass-finished beef will be eating grass hay or alfalfa hay in their lifetime. And the comment we get is that those hays are less likely to be sprayed with herbicides and pesticides than these grains. That can be true maybe for your normal grains, the cheapest grains you can find on the market, the GMO grains. We don't find that to be the case for the non-GMO grains that we feed. We feed only non-GMO grains free of corn and soy. And the reason for that is because we know that when we're buying non-GMO grains, these grains cannot be sprayed with glyphosate in their live state. What happens is grains and other crops, even alfalfa, gets genetically modified so it can be sprayed with glyphosate in its live state, and everything around the crop dies, but the crop itself lives, leading to higher yields for harvest. In our case, our non-GMO grains are not sprayed with glyphosate in their live state. We also know that our grains that we get locally from a mill and feed store about a half an hour away from us, we know they come locally. We also know that glyphosate is not used as a desiccant on these grains. What that means is our grains are not sprayed with glyphosate right before harvest to dry them out, to reduce risks of spoilage post-harvest. We also get the comment that grass-finished beef is allegedly healthier in the human diet. There's a lot of studies out there. None of these studies are comparing a normal grass-finished beef to a beef finished like ours on top quality grass hays, live forage, and non-GMO grains free of corn and soy. These are mostly comparing feedlot setting animals with the cheapest GMO grains possible to a grass-finished animal, or sort of technically, or an animal that falls under the grass-finished umbrella. These studies really have no bearing when it comes to comparing our animals to animals from a grass-finished operation. We'd be very interested to see the data and get some of our meat lab tested. The labs we've talked to just basically told us that even at the high end of the levels of some of these nutritional profile differences, it probably wouldn't even show on their lab results. And so we haven't been able to get that the meat tested in any way that's going to give us some meaningful data, but something we continue to look into. Regardless, even grass finished beef compared to, say, a feedlot grain finished beef, when you look at those numbers and you look at the nutritional profile differences, there's agreement in the scientific community that those differences are negligible when it comes to the context of a full balanced diet. So there's really no reason from a nutritional standpoint to choose grass finished beef over a beef that's grass and grain finished. So if you're looking for a pasture-raised beef that is marbled and tender and full flavored, doesn't have sort of the super mild flavor of grocery store beef, but also doesn't have a gamey flavor like some grass finished beef, then this is a great product for you. You can find our options for beef on our website. We do half beef, we do whole beef. Those can be picked up in Odessa, Washington from our processor. That happens in early December after harvest. The other alternative is buying a meat box. If you're local in Stevens County, we deliver meat boxes for free. You can go to our website, waterloo-ranch.com, look at our meat box options that are free for delivery to Stevens County, and yeah, just let us know if you have any questions. If you're in Washington and Idaho, but not in Stevens County, we do ship to you. We ship meat boxes. We have custom options, and then we have our premium meat box, which focuses pretty heavily on our steaks. Check that out. And again, just let us know if you have any questions. You can just go to the waterloo-ranch.com website, click the contact tab, and just shoot us an email. You're also welcome to leave us a comment in this video if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just want to reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Please like this video and also subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more ranch talk coming your way, and hopefully get our future customers and existing customers a lot more information about what we do here and why we do things the way we do. Thanks for watching today. We appreciate you tuning in, and we hope to see you next time.